I awakened the weakest core kin of all, the mutant hairworm. Yet, I throw my head back and laugh like a madman. Every classmate around me thinks I've lost my mind, but only I know the terrifying power hidden inside this parasite. In my past life, I stumbled upon something. A hairworm parasitizing a goblin. The result was an explosion of raw, overwhelming power. That's when it hit me. My core kin was never what the teachers thought. It wasn't a simple mutant hairworm at all. It was a parasitic life form. Each strand looks like a separate creature, but they are one unified being. I prefer to call them Venom. But Venom and its descendants suffer from dangerously low faith levels. That's exactly what got me killed last time. During a mission, a powerful enemy terrified my core kin into betrayal, and just like that, I was dead. So the very first thing I do after being reborn is drain every last coin from my parents' savings. I buy 2,000 goblins, all to find the perfect host for Venom's true awakening. It takes 1,678 goblins before the parasite is finally satisfied. Venom, the first-generation parasite, officially awakens. Venom stirs, confused, and asks, "Who are you?" I crush the excitement rising in my chest and answer with cold authority, "I am your god." Does a god taste good? Faced with Venom's most primal thought, I manage a bitter smile. In this life, betrayal is not an option. Venom has just awakened and knows almost nothing about the world. This is the perfect window to build absolute faith, and I get to work immediately. Knowing Venom's cunning, gluttonous nature all too well, I already have the perfect plan. Beat it. Beat it hard. Beat it until Venom's survival instincts scream one thing. Betrayal is not just forbidden, even the thought of it is unthinkable. Only then can I lay a rock-solid foundation of faith for all future variants. Venom, for its part, has no interest in deep thinking. With a compatible host now fused to its body, its power surges, and so does its hunger. And right now, it wants to taste its so-called god. Before I can make a move, Venom lunges, jaws wide open, coming straight for me. I sidestep with a sharp twist, barely avoiding its bite. But Venom is nothing if not persistent, especially when food is involved. It charges again, that massive mouth still gaping wide. I keep dodging and reach for my megaphone. I know exactly what Venom fears. Sound waves. The louder, the more devastating. As Venom lunges again, I raise the megaphone and unleash a thunderous roar. The roar is amplified through the megaphone, blasting Venom off its goblin host, nearly tearing it away completely. But the detached parasite strands quickly slither back, wrapping around the host once more, and the attack resumes. But all that waits for Venom is wave after wave of unstoppable sonic suppression. Still freshly awakened, Venom cannot fight its own instincts, and a seed of fear toward me takes root. Fear is the seed of faith. I know this better than anyone. When Venom is on the verge of starving, I toss at a goblin's head to keep it alive, carrot and stick, over and over again. A full month inside the divine realm. By the end, fear of me is etched into Venom's very instincts. No matter what enemy it faces in the future, even if death is the only option, betrayal will never be won. There are still nearly 300 goblins left in the divine realm. I wave my hand and let Venom loose on all of them, a well-earned feast. The moment it has my permission, Venom throws itself into the horde, devouring with pure unbridled joy. Only after crunching through 100 goblin skulls does it finally fall into a blissful sleep. Witnessing that appetite firsthand, I can't help but be stunned. 100 goblins per meal. The fewer than 200 goblins left in the realm will only last Venom 2 meals. And this is just its infant stage right after awakening. As Venom grows, that appetite will only get worse. I need to set up a steady goblin supply inside the divine realm to feed it, but that requires resources I don't have. Just as I'm stuck on this problem, a notification pops up from school. Mr. Foster posts a message to the class group, notifying everyone. Tomorrow, the class will hold its first assessment since entering year 12. Top performers will receive generous rewards. The lowest scorer will be expelled. I read it and my face twists into a cold smirk. Normally, the worst student never faces anything this severe. This is clearly Foster targeting me. He assumes my mutant hairworm core kin will land me dead last, giving him the perfect excuse to expel me and hand the recommendation quota to Drake. In my past life, Foster and Drake worked together to destroy me. Ruthless doesn't even cover it. This time around, I'll make sure they regret every move. The next day, the bell rings and Mr. Foster strides into the classroom. His eyes sweep the room, and when they land on me, a sharp edge of malice crosses his face. Everyone, today's assessment is your first since entering year 12. It involves commanding your core kin directly, very different from written exams. I urge you all to take it seriously. Drake raises his hand with a smug grin. Sir, you haven't told us what the rewards are. The rewards are substantial, but only for the top 3. A wave of groans sweeps through the class. Over 40 students, and only 3 walk away with anything. Too many wolves, not enough meat. Foster saw this reaction coming and doesn't budge an inch. He simply continues. Third place may select 1 tier 1 sacred artifact from the class resource pool. Second place may select 1 tier 2 sacred artifact. And first place receives 1 point of divinity. The room erupts. Sacred artifacts are among the rarest resources for core kin, loadable directly into the divine realm core. Their effects apply to every core kin simultaneously. Incredibly powerful. But 1 point of divinity? That's on another level entirely. The currency of divine realm civilization works like this. 100 million faith power equals 1 divine power. 10,000 divine power equals 1 divinity. Faith power is generated by your kin and cannot be traded directly. Divine power remains the standard currency of the civilization. An average family earns roughly 4,000 divine power power a month. Win first place in the single assessment and you pocket 1 divinity, 10,000 divine power. An absurdly generous reward. Drake can't hide the grin spreading across his face. He knows perfectly well these rewards were designed with him in mind. His core kin is a toothless wyvern, a naturally transcendent rank life form. Among the entire class, the entire school, it ranks near the very top. That 1 point of divinity is already his in his mind. I take in the reward announcement without reacting, then raise my own question. Sir, I'd like to ask, can students who fail the assessment still receive rewards? The class bursts into laughter. Ethan, are you losing your mind? Rewards go to the top 3. How could someone who fails even place? Sure, you topped every written exam, but this is a combat assessment now. With that trash core kin of yours, you'd be lucky just to survive. First place? Don't make us laugh. We've been sick of your smug face for ages. 2 years at the top of written exams. Big deal. Exams test your pen. Assessments test your power. Get it, country bumpkin? The mockery comes from every direction. These classmates are clearly trying to earn Foster's favor by tearing me down. Foster is clearly pleased but keeps up the appearance of neutrality. He raises a hand to quiet the class, then turns to answer my question. Ethan, students who fail the assessment receive a failing grade. Naturally, no rewards. And the lowest scorer will be expelled. Any more questions? Then what happens if someone steals my results during the assessment? I press on. More laughter from the crowd. Steals? You think anyone would even bother with your trash hairworm? What would there even be to take? Stop flattering yourself. Enough. Foster's expression sharpens. Ethan, your concern is not entirely unreasonable, but understand this. The purpose of this assessment is to simulate real-world situations you may face. If you get robbed, that only proves your own weakness. I only care about the final result. Understood. I nod, already mapping out my plan. Any other questions? If not, the assessment begins now. I hope everyone performs well. Foster surveys the room one last time and announces. He then activates the classroom equipment, transferring every student's consciousness into the assessment space. Since only consciousness enters, neither students nor their kin can truly die here. Every student is scattered across different zones of the assessment space, the objective displayed clearly before them. The space is filled with tens of thousands of common rank life forms, gray feather sparrows. Each one sports a single thick plume on top of its head. Our objective, collect at least 100 plumes. The more you gather, the higher your score. I have no idea how the others feel reading this, but to me, this reeks of a setup. Gray feather sparrow's favorite food? Hairworms. Given any choice, they will always go for hairworms first. On top of that, they fly, making them genuinely difficult to catch. Meanwhile, Drake's toothless wyvern also flies and naturally preys on birds. Put it all together, and choosing the gray feather sparrow as the target was no accident. Foster put a lot of thought into this. But so what? I release Venom. A normal goblin stands about 1 meter tall, but after Venom's parasitism and weeks of conditioning, this one has tripled in size, looking every bit like a black demon lord, radiating pure menace. Its kin rank hasn't quite reached hero yet, but it's close, very close. Once I claim that 1 divinity reward, I can buy the resources I need to push Venom to hero rank, and maybe even begin cultivating a 2nd generation parasite. I think to myself, Foster, this time you're going to lose everything and gain nothing. Venom is busy scanning the surroundings with curious eyes, then turns to me. My God, I'm hungry. You'll eat soon enough. I reassure it. I begin scouting the area immediately. Not for gray feather sparrows in the sky, but for classmates scattered across the assessment space. Some students craft slingshots and bows from materials on the ground. Others organize groups to climb trees, hunting for nests. But my targets were never the birds. They were the students. Driven by sheer hunger, Venom charges forward with me on its back, and quickly zeroes in on a student busy directing their kin to set traps. The student spots me in Venom and freezes in shock. After all, everyone in class knows my core kin is supposedly just a mutant hairworm. So what is this massive thing standing before him? Goblin-like? Yet nothing like any goblin he's ever seen. Before he can even form the question, I give the order. Venom moves. It throws open its jaws and hurls itself at the student. These students have barely awakened their core kin. Their power is still nothing. Against a transcendent rank hybrid lifeform like Venom, it's a complete and total stomp. The student doesn't even process what's happening before Venom bites his head clean off. His summoned kin vanishes along with him. Of course, they're all just consciousness constructs here. Dying doesn't affect their real bodies. Venom chews with loud, satisfied crunching sounds and lets out an excited cry. Let's find the next one, on the other side of the space. Drake commands his core kin, cutting through gray feather sparrows without mercy. The toothless wyvern is a transcendent lifeform born with the ability to fly. Using it against tiny sparrows is like bringing a sword to swat a fly. But for that first place divinity reward, Drake pushes hard regardless. What should he spend it on? Drake is already making plans. Mr. Foster watches the assessment space in silence, keeping most of his attention fixed on Drake. Drake's toothless wyvern performs exactly as he hoped, collecting plumes at a speed that leaves everyone else in the dust. Undisputed first place. Then Foster remembers me. With a mutant hairworm as my core kin, Venom has probably been eaten alive by now, right? With that thought, Foster shifts his gaze toward my zone, and what he sees stops him cold. What in the world? What is that thing? Nearly 4 meters tall and built like a mountain. And why is it taking orders from Ethan? Foster notices that 18 students have already been knocked out of the assessment, every single one with a score of 0. This is already a full-blown academic incident. Not one plume collected before being eliminated? Impossible. He pulls up the replay, and there it is. I caused every single one of those eliminations, watching me hunt down classmate after classmate with that pitch-black hulking creature, brazenly cheating with some foreign kin pulled from who knows where. He grins. Now I can push for his expulsion. But Foster pauses. He doesn't act yet. He wants to wait until I claim first place, until that one divinity is right within my grasp, and then crush me. The pain will hit harder that way. He wants me to regret this for the rest of my life. Inside the assessment space, with Venom's overwhelming power on full display, the other students stand no chance of resistance. I pick up my pace, scanning the sky repeatedly, and quickly spot Drake's toothless wyvern patrolling overhead. Found you? My voice is electric with excitement. In this life, I'm going to make Drake suffer, payback for everything he cost me before. Venom, parasitize me. I want to feel this revenge firsthand. Venom immediately withdraws from the goblin and coils around my body. In an instant, a 4-meter-tall black colossus stands in the assessment space. I feel it again, that long-missed sensation of the parasite covering every inch of my body. Power floods through me, and I feel unstoppable, but there are limits. I am not Venom's perfect compatible host. At best, I can draw out 80% of its full power. On top of that, Venom continuously drains my body's energy during parasitism. For safety, the maximum I can sustain this fusion is 2 hours. Beyond that, my organs begin to fail. This is what drives me to cultivate Venom's variants as fast as possible. Among the 5 variants I know of, one third-generation variant is a perfect match for my body, and that is the true key to my full strength. Ready? Venom fused, I crash straight into the Toothless Wyvern's hunting zone. The Toothless Wyverns were casually picking off greyfeather sparrows like it was a game, and then I appear out of nowhere, massive and black, and they recoil in genuine shock. But as proud members of the Wyvern clan, they have a fierce territorial instinct. Anyone who dares enter their hunting ground is challenging their dominance, and that cannot go unpunished. One Toothless Wyvern immediately dives toward me, launching the first strike. I meet its attack head-on. Under my control, the parasite floods into my right arm, swelling it to many times its normal size, forming a massive claw that seizes the wyvern mid-flight and locks it in place. Then rows of jagged teeth erupt from my mouth. I sink them straight into the wyvern's pointed skull. Its hollow bones offer no resistance against my bite. One bite. The wyvern is instantly dead. As its owner, Drake feels it the instant his wyvern dies. He immediately mounts another and flies to the scene. He arrives to find me cracking and crunching through his wyvern's skull, sucking out the brain fluid. Drake completely loses it. "You piece of trash! What the hell are you? How dare you kill my toothless wyvern?" he screams. "Venom, stop!" I deliberately withdraw the parasite covering my face, letting it fall away to reveal myself. "Ethan, how is it you? What is all that on your body?" Drake falters, thrown completely off balance. He knows my core kin is supposed to be a worthless mutant hairworm, so how can I possibly have this kind of power? Only one explanation comes to his mind. I'm cheating. Ethan must have rented a stronger life form from another Divine Realm player to use in the assessment. If you're willing to cheat just to take first place, Ethan, you're finished. You're done this time. The moment this assessment ends, I'm reporting you. I'll have Mr. Foster expel you personally, Drake screams. Then I guess we both have to wait until it ends. For now, sit still and be my meal. Venom, I'm on a clock. I launch into an even more ferocious assault. Using the surrounding trees, I scale upward at speed, then leap and land squarely on the back of Drake's wyvern. One claw slams down onto Drake's skull, and I begin to squeeze. The assessment space can't actually kill students, but it transmits nearly 100% of the pain to their real bodies. Drake convulses in agony until I eliminate him entirely. The remaining toothless wyverns disappear the moment their master falls. I drop to the ground with a heavy thud, running my long tongue over my claws, muttering to myself, how boring. He went down way too easy. Given the toothless wyvern's actual power, Drake shouldn't have fallen this fast. But his combat experience is paper thin, and his arrogance makes it worse. He never created distance between us from the start, and that cost him everything. Still, a satisfying kill. Consider it the first installment on a debt from my past life. I start gathering the plumes scattered on the ground. Then I spot Wade crouching behind a tree nearby. Knowing he can't hide, Wade steps out awkwardly. Ethan, let me just say up front, I'm not on Drake's side. We only had a basic business arrangement. Sure, keep talking. I'm almost convinced. I let Venom recoat my body and take one slow step toward Wade at a time. Wade knows his own limits. Fighting head-on is not an option. He speaks fast. It really was just a business deal. I offered him a Tier 1 sacred artifact in exchange for his plumes, aiming for second place. He's out now. I want to work with you instead. You name the price. By the time he finishes, Wade's face is drenched in cold sweat because my palm is hovering just 5 centimeters above his skull, 1 second away from caving it in. I name the price. My voice comes out cold and flat. Wade quickly adds, as long as it doesn't exceed the value of the Tier 2 sacred artifact for second place. I run the numbers. Tier 2 sacred artifacts go for around 2,000 2,000 divine power on average. Squeezing a little more out of this is fair. 1,500 divine power. I guarantee you second place. Given the situation, Wade has no choice but to agree. Refuse, and he gets eliminated on the spot. Then let's make it a good partnership. Wade flashes a pleading smile and reaches up to shake one enormous claw looming over his head. Mr. Foster watches every second of this exchange. His chosen winner has just been obliterated. How can he hold back now? He waits no longer. No more hesitation. He exercises his authority as homeroom teacher. The assessment is terminated. Every student's consciousness snaps back to their body, waking in their seats. More than half of them glare at me with barely contained fury. Drake jolts awake and immediately charges at me. You dare kill me? I'll end you. Foster, worried the situation will spiral out of control, slams his hand on the desk. Everyone, sit down and be quiet. Now. Drake sees the look on Foster's face and reluctantly storms back to his seat, seething. Foster then turns his full attention on me. Ethan, you openly cheated during the assessment, disrupted the entire process, and caused a serious academic incident. Admit it. Now, I meet his accusation without flinching. I followed the assessment rules at every step. If something went wrong, how is that on me? As for cheating, that's slander. I'd like to ask you, Mr. Foster, which eye of yours actually saw me cheat? The classroom explodes. Every student is convinced I've completely lost it, talking back to the homeroom teacher like this, especially the ones I eliminated. They saw with their own eyes what I summoned, and it was absolutely not a hairworm. Apologize, beg a little, and at worst you lose your score. But I'm doubling down and throwing the question back at the teacher. Am I actively trying to get expelled? You ask which eye saw it? I'll tell you, both eyes, clearly. As Foster speaks, he pulls up the footage of Venom that I summoned during the assessment, and projects it as a full three-dimensional display in front of the entire class. Your core kin is a mutant hairworm. You dare tell me this thing is a mutant hairworm? Foster throws the evidence straight in my face, but I don't even blink. Correct. That is my mutant hairworm. Foster looks like his head is about to explode. He can monitor the assessment, but he has no way to scan Venom's actual data. But with over a decade of teaching behind him, he is absolutely certain Venom has nothing to do with a hairworm. No matter how mutated a hairworm gets, it could never look like that. You won't cry until you see the coffin. Fine. Keep that attitude up. I'm filing for your expulsion with school leadership right now. You are a bad apple, and I'm cutting you out. Foster is done arguing. In his mind, I cheated, and that's final. The expulsion request reaches Ms. Rhodes almost immediately. Under normal circumstances, expelling a student for cheating would be something she approves without a second thought. What teacher would gamble their career on a cheater? But when she sees the name, Ethan, two-time consecutive top of the year, Ms. Rhodes decides she has to see this for herself. Moments later, Ms. Rhodes walks through the classroom door. Ms. Rhodes, this student is beyond my control. He openly cheated, deliberately eliminated other students, and severely obstructed the entire assessment. This is completely unacceptable. Foster launches into his complaint the moment she arrives. Ms. Rhodes turns her gaze on me. Ethan, is what Mr. Foster says accurate? I let out a cold snort, not a word of it. Everything I did was within the assessment rules. He's trying to steal my recommendation quota and frame me. Foster's face goes white, then dark. That is absolutely absurd. The recommendation quota belongs to the school, wanting it given to a more deserving student. What's wrong with that? Besides, we are here to talk about your cheating, not the recommendation quota. Stop trying to muddy the waters. Foster pulls up the assessment footage without another word. Ms. Rhodes, I'm sure you're aware, his core kin is a mutant hairworm. But look at this life form in the footage. That is not a mutant hairworm. Isn't that cheating beyond any doubt? Ms. Rhodes frowns as she watches. The school leadership all know Ethan's core kin is supposed to be a mutant hairworm. The evidence on screen seems to make it clear Ethan cheated. Ethan, do you have anything to say in your defense? Nothing to argue, Ms. Rhodes. If you want the truth, come see my divine realm for yourself. I remain completely calm. I know the truth. I never cheated. As long as Ms. Rhodes has even a shred of genuine dedication to this school's reputation, she will never side with Foster. Ms. Rhodes nods and, with my permission, steps into my divine realm to investigate. Foster tries to follow. I shut him out without hesitation and say flatly, "You? Not a chance." Foster looks like he wants to slap me across the face. Inside my divine realm, Ms. Rhodes observes my core kin, the mutant hairworm. Then I show her my technique. On my command, the mutant hairworms converge onto the goblin and transform into the form of Venom. The aura of a transcendent rank hybrid lifeform fills the space. Even Ms. Rhodes is visibly shaken. A lifeform this extraordinary actually exists in this world. Her amazement fades into something new. The way she looks at me has completely changed. A talent like this is exactly the kind of student who could bring glory to the school. Not only should he not be expelled, he should be nurtured. He might just become the top scorer of this graduating class. Ethan, your name is cleared. Keep working hard. I look forward to seeing what you become. Ms. Rhodes offers a few words of praise and steps out of my divine realm. The moment she reappears, Foster rushes over. Ms. Rhodes, I told you he was cheat. Ms. Rhodes raises her hand, cutting him off before he can finish. Mr. Foster, I've investigated. Ethan shows no signs of cheating. This matter is closed. Foster stands there stunned. He starts wondering if Ms. Rhodes has been bought off by me. But then he thinks, with my family's financial situation, what could I possibly offer that would interest her? Foster slumps slightly and pushes on. But the fact that Ethan disrupted the other's assessment, that's undeniable. Ms. Rhodes turns to me, brow furrowed. Ethan, is that true? I admit it without hesitation. It is. But everything I did was following Mr. Foster's own instructions. He said, I don't get to finish. Ethan, I'm warning you. Don't you dare frame me. Do you have proof? Foster cuts me off immediately, but I came prepared. I recorded it. Foster goes pale. He never imagined I had planned this far in advance, that I'd been setting this trap before the assessment even began. Ms. Rhodes watches the recording. Her expression turns grave. Mr. Foster, a word outside. The moment they step out, the classroom erupts. Ethan went head-to-head with the homeroom teacher, and he won. Star bro, that was absolutely legendary. Wade bows down. Wade declares with full admiration. I smile quietly and say nothing. This is only the beginning of my revenge. Drake stares at me from across the room, his eyes burning with pure hatred. The way things stand, that one divinity reward for first place is gone, and he knows it. One whole point of divinity. All because of that worthless Ethan. After a long while, Mr. Foster trudges back into the classroom looking utterly deflated. He's been given a formal reprimand by Ms. Rhodes, and had his bonus docked. The look he gives me now carries a new edge of venom, but he has no choice except to follow Ms. Rhodes' instructions. First place in this assessment, Ethan. He announces it through gritted teeth, every word soaked in fury. Most of the class barely reacts. They already saw this coming. But then I stand up sharply. Mr. Foster, does what you said earlier still hold? Your one divinity reward has been transferred to your account. Foster snaps back. I shake my head. That's not what I'm asking. The rule you set, that the lowest scorer gets expelled. Does that still stand? I let my gaze sweep across the classroom. Over 20 students scored 0 because of me, which means enforcing that rule would mean expelling half the class. Now it isn't just Foster glaring at me. Half the class is staring daggers at me too. Nobody was going to bring it up. Safety in numbers, everyone had a way out. But I just had to bring up the rule that was set before the assessment started, and slapped half the class in the face. Foster is absolutely kicking himself. Every rule he designed to trap me has now flipped completely and become a weapon in my hands. Before Foster can even respond, I speak first. Relax, sir, I'm just joking. Foster and half the class let out a collective breath of relief. Then I add one more line. I'd also advise the teacher to behave himself from now on. No more scheming. Foster is so furious he can't form a single word. He finally squeezes out 2. Class dismissed. Back at my place, I received the 1 divinity assessment reward first, followed by a transfer of 1500 divine power from Wade. Ethan, you're insane. From now on, you're star bro to me. Wade leaves in his message. The way I stood up to Foster today has Wade completely losing his mind with admiration. 11,500 divine power in total. Everything I earned from this assessment. For a year 12 student, that is an absolute fortune. But after today, the gloves are fully off between me and Foster. I have to get stronger. There's no other option. Out of the 11,500 divine power, I first set aside 5,000 for goblin purchases. 5 cards appear in my hands, each containing 1,000 common rank goblins in stasis. I release them all from the cards at once, penning them inside the divine realm and letting them breed freely. 5,000 goblins isn't a huge number, but it'll keep Venom fed for a while. With that done, I turn my attention to pushing Venom to hero rank. There are 2 paths to improve Venom. The first is strengthening the mutant hairworm itself. The second is enhancing the host body it parasitizes. I decide to pursue both at once. I browse the Divine Realm Civilization's marketplace, searching for sacred artifacts suited to parasites. Since my Divine Realm core is still at its base Tier 1, I can only select Tier 1 sacred artifacts. Browsing through the marketplace's enormous catalog, I quickly narrow it down to 3 Tier 1 sacred artifacts that work for parasites. Tier 1 sacred artifact, Rubber Fruit, has a chance to grant core kin, a body with rubber-like elasticity, only effective on elongated lifeforms. Price, 1,100 divine power. Tier 1 sacred artifact, Crimson Totem, slightly increases core kin's physical strength. Price, 800 divine power. Tier 1 sacred artifact, Jade Vine, slightly improves core kin's self-regeneration. Price, 1,000 divine power. All 3 have their merits, but the rubber fruit clearly stands out above the rest. It grants the parasite a body with rubber-like elasticity, which reminds me of a second-generation parasite variant I know, one with almost identical abilities. I make my choice without hesitation, the rubber fruit. After the purchase, the rubber fruit arrives quickly. I load it directly into the Divine Realm core. A wave of special energy radiates outward from the core, washing over every last parasite strand. About 10% of the parasites are affected. Their bodies grow noticeably tougher, and they gain remarkable elasticity. I pick up one of the affected strands and test it. Like a rubber band, it stretches easily to 5 times its original length. This is a physical enhancement at best, not quite a full mutation, but still significant. With a portion of the parasites now carrying the rubber constitution, Venom's body becomes far more resilient. Its strikes hit harder too. I then turn my attention to upgrading the goblin host. Upgrading the goblin is far more straightforward, just a matter of buying enhancement serums targeting strength, speed, and constitution. I spend 600 divine power on 3 types of serums, and inject all 3 directly into the host goblin. The serums activate simultaneously, and the goblin's kin rank vaults far beyond what's expected, jumping straight from common all the way to transcendent. Boosted internally, and with its host now elevated, Venom's combined power surges, pushing it straight into hero rank hybrid lifeform territory. As a bonus, Venom comprehends a new skill, Rubber Fist. 1 punch, and the fist extends a full 5 meters forward. I use the remaining divine power to begin cultivating one of the second-generation parasite variants I know well. Its name is Lash. Its ideal host is a naturally elite rank lifeform, the long-legged octopus. To house long-legged octopuses, I need to build a body of water inside the divine realm. I also need special materials to trigger the parasite parasite's mutation. Under the catalyst's influence, one black parasite strand transforms, turning green. I immediately take out a long-legged octopus and offer it to Lash. Lash instinctively burrows into the octopus, siphoning its energy to fuel its own growth and reproduction. But finding a truly compatible host is never easy. I go through 487 long-legged octopuses before finally finding the right host for Lash. And with that, Lash awakens. I finally see Lash's full stats again. Core kin, second-generation parasite, Lash. Kin rank, transcendent rank hybrid life form. Kin talent, resilient elasticity. Faith level, dark devotee. Freshly awakened, Lash has an even worse temper than Venom. It doesn't say a word before attacking me. 8 tentacle whips lash toward me at terrifying speed. I saw this coming. I pull out my megaphone and blast a full-force roar directly at Lash. The sonic shockwave overwhelms Lash so completely, it nearly tears away from its octopus host entirely. But unlike Venom, Lash is smarter. It immediately turns and flees. I move to pursue, but Venom cuts in with a request. My God, let me handle it. Venom's demon-like body hurls itself at Lash. Lash's 8 tentacle whips crack against Venom again and again, but can't leave so much as a scratch on Venom's hyper-regenerating body. Instead, Venom seizes the opportunity and grabs every single tentacle at once. Then Venom's massive fist comes crashing down onto Lash's soft head, each punch punctuated by the same demand. Call me daddy. Under our combined treatment, 20 days is all it takes. Lash submits. It becomes my devoted fanatic and Venom's obedient child. I'm genuinely satisfied with how this turned out. 1 divinity earned, 1500 divine power gained, Venom pushed to hero rank, and Lash successfully cultivated. I'm going into whatever Foster throws at me next with far more confidence. But to my surprise, after the assessment incident, Foster goes completely quiet. For an entire month, he doesn't make a single move against me. There are no more high-reward assessments either. As a result, both the goblins and the long-legged octopuses inside my divine realm begin showing serious signs of malnutrition. I'm stuck. My family doesn't have the money, my parents can't help much, and the school isn't delivering any opportunities. If this drags on, Venom and Lash will fall behind. Just as the pressure is building, Wade brings me news. Somehow he's gotten his hands on 2 passes to the abandoned gold mine, and he's asking if I want to go together. The moment he says abandoned gold mine, my eyes light up. The abandoned gold mine was reportedly the personal mine of the legendary Miracle God King. After the primary ore was exhausted, it was donated to the Divine Realm civilization. Ore mined from this site can be refined into pure Realm Core shards, and Realm Core shards are used specifically to upgrade the Divine Realm Core. A higher tier Divine Realm Core allows more sacred artifacts to be loaded in, making Core kin dramatically stronger. But beyond what everyone knows, I have insider knowledge about this place. When the mine was first excavated, many divine beings perished within it. Over the centuries, their remnants crystallized into divine ruins scattered throughout. In my past life, I heard rumors of someone finding a true god's ruins deep inside the mine, and using the fortune left behind to achieve a massive power leap. Calculating the timeline, the ruins haven't been discovered yet, which means if luck is on my side, I can get there first. I know it clearly. In this second life, if I want to rewrite my fate, I can only rely on myself. Every single chance to get stronger, I have to seize it. We use the weekend break, travel through the teleportation array, and arrive at the outer perimeter of the abandoned gold mine. Wade, worried I'm unfamiliar with the place, launches into a detailed briefing. Bro, the abandoned gold mine only allows Divine Realm players at our level, still in the Divinity Lifeform tier, to enter. My core kin, the Iron Goblin, is decent at mining, but weak in combat. Once we're in, you've got to watch my back. His real motive for inviting me is clear. He wants Venom's power as his insurance. I agree without hesitation. An opportunity like this is too rare to pass up. If everything goes the way I'm planning, this trip could make me extraordinarily wealthy. While Wade and I are still talking, a familiar figure strides toward us. It's Drake, our classmate. Drake makes a point of walking over. Well, 2 pieces of trash. Did you steal those passes? He scoffs, making no effort to hide his contempt. In his view, my personal strength is still nothing worth worrying about. As for Wade, someone who had to cut a deal just to grab second place, Drake doesn't even bother looking at him. Wade wants to speak up against Drake's insults but can't quite bring himself to. I, on the other hand, feel nothing but calm. What, not even going to talk back? Drake steps forward, pushing harder. I step forward without hesitation and grab Drake by the collar. I wasn't going to bother with you, but you keep pushing your luck. Did you forget what it felt like when I crushed your head? The memory of the assessment floods back into Drake's mind. His body twitches involuntarily. That sensation of his skull being compressed is not one he wants to relive. You think just because Miss Rhodes backed you up, your recommendation quota is safe? You'll find out very soon. Your support means nothing. Drake shoves me off and snarls. Right then, a tall figure steps up behind him. Owen, perfect timing. This is the guy. He used dirty tricks in the assessment and stole my divinity. Owen's gaze locks onto me, sharp and cold. So you're Ethan. I'm ordering you to return that 1 divinity to Drake right now, and hand over the recommendation quota to him as well, or things won't go well for you inside that mine. Wade shrinks under Owen's imposing frame, leaning toward me quietly. Maybe we should just leave. I shake my head. These passes are too valuable to waste. Better than losing our lives. Wade is genuinely scared. He's heard the rumors. Inside the abandoned gold mine, there are no rules. and even killing someone is nearly impossible to pin down. Who says it'll be us? I say flatly. Owen lets out a cold laugh. Let's hope your life is as big as your mouth. Drake straightens up proudly and introduces Owen to us. My cousin graduated top of his class from the War Academy, one of the most elite schools out there. He's one step away from demigod. Crushing you two would be nothing to him. Wade is even more rattled. Starbro, a War Academy top student, we can't afford to mess with him. Can we please just go? For all we know, he used some shady trick to snatch someone else's recommendation quota and get into that school. Owen's face darkens instantly, because I just hit the truth. I hope you're still talking like that when my blade finds you. Owen throws the threat out, the unmistakable edge of someone whose pride has just been wounded. Likewise, I say, and drag Wade with me as I step into the abandoned gold mine first. Owen and Drake follow close behind. The moment I'm inside, I summon Venom. Venom scoops me up in one claw and hoists Wade over the other shoulder, then tears deep into the mine at full speed. By the time Owen and Drake teleport in, there isn't a single trace of us left. "'Cause, what do we do now?" Drake demands, his voice tight with panic. He's desperate to use this chance to take Ethan out, eliminate him, and every problem in his life disappears. The future looks bright. Think running will save you? Don't underestimate a War Academy student. Owen summons his core kin without hesitation. One by one, hellhounds materialize inside the abandoned gold mine. Find them. Owen issues his divine decree to the pack. Woof, woof, woof. The dark tunnels erupt with savage barking. Wade practically shrinks into Venom's shoulder, too terrified to move. I rely on memories from my past life, searching for the location of the true god's ruin. Civilization. Gods are ranked from lowest to highest. Divinity beings, demigods, true gods, archgods, and god kings. Right now, we sit at the very bottom of that hierarchy. Mere divinity beings. A true god stands 2 full tiers above us. The value of their ruins? Unimaginable. But the tunnels of the abandoned gold mine are a maze. Even I can't find my bearings quickly. Then a hellhound closes in, its shrill bark cutting through the darkness, signaling our position to the rest of the pack. I give Venom the order without hesitation. Take it down first. Hellhounds are transcendent rank life forms, and this one has been carefully raised by Owen, nearly ready to break into hero rank. But it has the misfortune of running into Venom, a true hero rank hybrid life form. Venom crushes it without breaking a sweat. I quickly collect some of the hellhound's blood and smear it over myself and Wade. The scent masks ours, throwing the pack's tracking off completely. Wade stares at me, stunned. None of this is in any textbook. Where did I learn this? Owen and Drake close in fast. Our scent trail ends right here, leaving the hellhounds scrambling in circles, only to find the corpse of one of their own. Damn it, you killed one of my hellhounds, Owen snarls. Drake had told him about the strange core kin I carry, one powerful enough to kill a transcendent rank toothless wyvern. Even Drake had never seen anything like it. "'Cause you have to help me. Just take him out, and I'll get my dad to load you up with resources," Owen promises. "You don't need to ask. I've got you." With that, he calls forth a 3-headed, hero-rank Cerberus from his divine realm, one of his trump cards as a top student of the War Academy. Track the scent, find them. Owen issues his divine decree to the Cerberus. The Cerberus gets to work immediately, all 3 heads sniffing furiously. Its rank is higher, its nose far sharper, and with 3 heads cross-checking every scent. It doesn't take long to detect my scent buried beneath the hellhound's blood. "Keep going, don't stop," Owen commands. Meanwhile, Wade and I keep running. The blood trick was only ever a delay tactic. So as we flee, I order Venom to destroy the tunnel walls behind us, sealing off the paths we came from. It buys us more time, and might even make Owen and Drake lose us entirely. Running seems to calm Wade down. The fear drains from his face. "Ethan, are we still going to mine?" He glances at the tunnel walls as he speaks. Those glittering specks mean gold deposits, and gold can be refined into realm core shards. "Not yet," I say, cross-referencing the tunnels with the root in my memories, searching for the true god's ruin. After running it through my head again and again, I can feel it. We're getting close. Then I spot it. A massive stone wall, perfectly smooth, matching exactly what I remember. And excitement surges through me. "Summon your iron goblins. Start digging into this wall," I tell him, barely containing my excitement. "But there's nothing on it?" Wade frowns. He's not about to waste energy on nothing. "Just dig. Trust me on this," I urge him. Wade does as I say, summoning his iron goblins and setting them to work. Iron goblins are natural diggers, and with over 1,000 of them working at once, they break through in no time, opening a pitch-black passage in the wall. Wade hesitates, sending one iron goblin in to scout ahead, but the moment it steps through, all contact is lost. The thread of faith holds, but no information gets through, as if the passage blocks all signals entirely. Wade looks uneasy, but I can't hide the grin on my face. "What are we waiting for? We hit the jackpot. For real? We actually found something?" Wade breaks into a smile. He'd heard the rumors about ruins hidden in the mine. Now they're standing right in front of one. He falls in right behind me, and we crawl through. The next moment, we're transported into an unknown space. Countless floating landmasses drift throughout the void, suspended in the air as if gravity has no hold here. Look closely, and you can see creatures moving across them. Oh my god, it's actually a ruin! "Ethan, we're rich," Wade bursts out. My eyes sweep across the floating islands, and I spot one with a temple structure. That's where the true god's legacy will be. We head to the temple first. Wade trusts me completely at this point. "Whatever you say, Ethan." Venom scoops us both up effortlessly and leaps from island to island. when the gaps are too wide. I summon Lash to help bridge the distance. With Venom and Lash working together, we land on the temple island in no time. Before we even reach the entrance, a commanding voice booms from within. Who dares disturb my god's eternal rest? A minotaur storms out of the temple, massive axe in hand, radiating an aura that hits the very peak of hero rank. Feeling the weight of that power, Wade quietly steps behind me. I glance at him with a sigh. Go stand over there. On it! Wade agrees instantly and bolts without a second thought. I position Venom and Lash on either side of me. From what the minotaur just declared, I piece together the situation. A god is sleeping here, which means there's a complete true god's corpse inside. The minotaur sees I'm not backing down and raises its axe into a fighting stance, unleashing a wild surge of pressure that forces me back several steps. But Venom charges straight in, claws clashing hard against the minotaur. Both are hero rank, but from the very first exchange, Venom is on the back foot. The axe looks slow and clumsy, but it lands devastating blows at exactly the right moments. Even with Venom's regeneration working overtime, the damage keeps piling up. It doesn't take long before Venom starts to buckle. I see it happening and act fast, ordering Lash to attack from behind. All 8 whip-like tentacles lash out at once, and it works. The minotaur is pushed back for a moment, but Lash is only transcendent rank. The minotaur quickly reads the rhythm of Lash's strikes and finds the gaps, breaking through before long. I see where this is going. I order Venom to merge directly into my body. I can't channel Venom's full power this way, but what I have is far more combat experience, and with Lash working in sync, we slowly start to turn the tide. From his hiding spot, Wade summons 10 iron goblins armed with rapid-fire crossbows and sends them at the minotaur. At his command, dozens of iron bolts fly in rapid succession, piercing the minotaur's hide, the sharp pain throwing off its focus. On my order, Lash seizes the moment and wraps its tentacles around the axe. Venom and I press the attack, and soon the minotaur crumbles, crashing into a pool of its own blood. I sever its massive head, a hero rank lifeform, gone. Let's get inside and see what's in there. Wade is buzzing with excitement as the minotaur falls, a god powerful enough to leave a hero rank minotaur as a guardian. The treasures left behind in this ruin are bound to be extraordinary. I nod. Venom takes the lead with the axe. Wade stays in the middle, flanked by iron goblins. On my advice, he also stations 2 iron goblins outside to keep watch. We step inside, and right there before us sits an enormous crystal sarcophagus. The crystal used to craft it came from the abandoned gold mine itself, but the quality is on a completely different level from anything we've seen in those tunnels. Wade can't hold it together anymore. Ethan, we're loaded. We're absolutely loaded. I nod, but quietly instruct Lash to keep a close eye on Wade, just in case. Classmates or not, when this much is at stake, even fathers and sons have turned on each other. Wade has no idea. His eyes are locked on the crystal sarcophagus. I move closer to look. Inside lies a golden minotaur skeleton. That gold means the bones are saturated with divinity. What surprises me is what's still wrapped around the skeleton's waist, a belt. Time has reduced the god's flesh to nothing, yet the belt remains perfectly intact. A clear sign it's no ordinary piece of gear. I lean in to take it. Then Wade speaks up sharply. Ethan, trouble. My kin outside just sent a prayer signal. 2 humans incoming, with over 100 hellhounds and dozens of toothless wyverns. I already know who it is. I just didn't expect them to close in this fast. The most valuable treasure in this entire ruin is right in front of me. I'm not letting it go. I grab the belt, and its information floods into my mind. The Arm King belt, carrying the power system of the Shift civilization, governing the strength of iron arms, drawing power from power coins to trigger a transformation. I buckle it on immediately, but the moment it clicks into place, a foreign consciousness surges into my mind. It's the golden minotaur skeleton inside the crystal sarcophagus. It warns me. Agree to its terms, or the belt is useless. Its demand: within 3 years, enter the Shift civilization and win the War of 100 Kings. The Shift civilization, I'd heard of it in my past life. A powerhouse, second only to the Divine Realm civilization. As for the War of 100 Kings, I know nothing about it, but Drake and Owen are about to break through the door. For survival, for revenge. I don't have the luxury of hesitation, I agree. Instantly, a mysterious contract takes shape in my mind, half binding itself into my consciousness, half merging into the Arm King belt. At the same time, I feel the belt respond. It's mine to command. I pull up my status panels and 2 appear at the same time. The first is my Divine Realm player panel. Name, Ethan. Rank, Divinity Being, Divine. Ability, Precise Divinity Control, Core Level, 1. Loaded Sacred Artifact, Rubber Fruit, Core Kin, Sacrifice Body. The second belongs to the Arm King belt. Name, Ethan Belt. Arm King. Belt tier. First, 1 power coin can be loaded to trigger a transformation. The power level depends on the coin used. Abilities, Iron Forge, King's Blessing. I open both ability entries. Iron Forge, powerful materials can be refined into power coins. King's Blessing, power coins can be used to craft single-use transformation belts, granting allies the power to transform, with stats tied to the coin used. These 2 panels are like seeds planted inside me, and one day both will grow into something towering. Ethan, are you done? They're breaking in. The iron goblins Wade left outside have already been slaughtered. I frown. The Arm King belt is mine, but where do I get a power coin to transform with? Before I can figure it out, the temple doors are thrown open. Drake and Owen storm in with a full army of kin behind them, and their eyes land instantly on the crystal sarcophagus. 'Cause we're loaded. Drake shouts. That crystal sarcophagus alone is worth more than they could ever spend, let alone whatever's inside it. There's no way that thing is empty. Didn't expect you two to get this lucky, stumbling onto a ruin this grand. Too bad for you because you just ran into us. Your luck ends here. Come down quietly and we'll let you walk away in one piece. Resist and we'll leave nothing but dust, Owen declares, full of swagger. I take stock of the kin standing behind Owen and Drake, hundreds of transcendent rank toothless wyverns and hellhounds, plus one hero rank Cerberus. On my side, hero rank Venom and transcendent rank Lash, plus a handful of elite rank iron goblins. The gap is massive. There's almost no way to turn this around. Almost. The only wildcard is the belt at my waist, but to transform I need a powerful power coin. Backed into a corner like this, I'm out of options. My eyes settle on the golden bones inside the crystal sarcophagus, the remains of a true god, more than enough to satisfy Iron Forge. It's a waste, but I have no choice. I press my hand against the divine bones, and activate the ability. Brilliant golden light blooms from my palm. What the hell are you doing? Drake roars, and immediately orders the toothless wyverns to strike. Owen drives the hellhounds forward. They have to break my focus. I can't move while this is active, so I order Venom and Lash to hold the line. Wade looks like he's about to pass out from fear, but he knows exactly what's at stake. Stand down, and they die. So they fight. Think Wade is easy to push around? Wade lets out a furious roar and plays his final card. Iron goblins strapped with explosives come pouring out, charging headlong into the incoming hellhounds and toothless wyverns. A chain of explosions rips through the pack, but Wade's iron goblins are freshly awakened. Their tech is too primitive, the bomb's too weak. Very few wyverns or hellhounds actually go down, but it's enough to set Owen off. You dare bomb my hellhounds? You and your kin are going to pay for that, he screams. A wave of hellhounds surges at Wade, ready to tear him apart. Lash snaps a tentacle out and yanks Wade back to my side. Venom holds the front line with everything a hero rank lifeform has, but hellhound claws rake and tear, ripping away chunks of mutant hairworm flesh. Venom is buying me time with its life. Die already! Owen sees victory within reach. The Cerberus answers his command, all three massive heads opening wide, unleashing a torrent of hellfire that swallows Venom whole. Burn it to nothing! Owen shrieks with excitement. He's figured it out. Take down Venom, and we're finished. Every treasure in this ruin will be his. But Owen's luck runs out just 1 second too soon. In the instant before the hellfire arrives, I finish the refinement. A power coin blazing with brilliant golden light takes shape in my hand. Without a moment's hesitation, I slot it into the Arm King belt. Arm King, transform. Power floods out of the coin. Rich divinity wraps around my entire body, forging itself into a gleaming golden armor. The moment it settles on me, I feel like I could move mountains. I don't hesitate. I charge straight into the hellfire and throw myself in front of Venom. The raging flames hit the armor, and instead of burning, it just feels warm. I push back slightly, and divine power erupts, scattering the flames entirely, sending the Cerberus flying nearly 10 meters before it can steady itself. Owen's triumphant screaming cuts off like a blade. He stares at me, golden armor gleaming, and can't believe what he's seeing. I don't give Owen a moment to process it. I step forward, each step shattering the floor beneath me, sending shockwaves rippling outward. Hellhounds, toothless wyverns, anything that gets in my way gets crushed. Right now, nothing can stop me. As I close in, Owen throws the Cerberus between us. He turns to look for Drake and sees him sprinting away, dangling from a toothless wyvern's leg. When his life is on the line, that guy doesn't even say a word, just runs, leaving his own cousin here to take the hit. Owen finally sees Drake for who he really is, but the situation isn't completely lost yet. Based on the power I'm putting out, Owen estimates I'm around Lord rank. As a top student of the War Academy, Owen hasn't raised a Lord rank core kin yet, but he has a few tricks for dealing with life forms at that level. Kid, I'll give you luck, but luck means nothing against my experience. You're still out of your depth. Owen pulls a shadow bone from his pocket. Another trump card. He tosses it into the Cerberus's mouth and begins to chant. Lord of Hellbound remains. I offer the life of this Cerberus in exchange for one strike of your power. As Owen chants, the shadow bone splinters into shards that drive into the Cerberus like nails. Its flesh begins to wither and shrivel at terrifying speed, while the bone shards swell and twist into grotesque black spikes. The Cerberus howls in agony but can't fight it, and under Owen's gaze it transforms into a horrifying dread husk, covered in black spikes. Its aura spikes all the way to Lord rank. The moment I realize what Owen is doing, I fall back to the crystal sarcophagus. I can't stop the ritual, but I know something Owen doesn't. A creature born from a ritual like this has a limited window. 10 minutes at most before the dread husk falls apart. But my power isn't permanent either. I can feel it. The power coin has maybe 5 minutes left in it, but that doesn't shake me one bit. 5 minutes? So what? All I need is 5 minutes to take down that dread husk and Owen both. You want to talk about experience? You're not even close. Today, I'll show you what my core kin are truly capable of. I issue a divine decree to Venom and Lash. Both of you, merge into me, now. The Dread Husk's aura is suffocating. Even Venom and Lash instinctively recoil from it. But their zealot-level faith holds. They don't break, they trust me. 2 different parasites merge into my body at the same time. This is the ultimate technique I mastered in my past life. Hybrid merge. Pushed to death's edge, I channel divinity directly into the cells of both parasites. In an instant, my aura shifts again, and it's pressing towards something beyond Lord rank. That's impossible. You're a senior in high school. You just awakened your core kin. How can you be this strong? Owen's voice cracks with disbelief. The next second, a massive fist tears through the air with terrifying force. Moving too fast to dodge, Owen has no time to react, and he and the Dread Husk shatter into pieces pieces together. You and your experience, both equally worthless. My voice comes out calm, almost indifferent, not sure who I'm even talking to. Wade stands frozen beside the crystal sarcophagus. Same school, same year. He can't wrap his head around how I'm this far ahead of him. Standing next to me, he feels like he's not even worth a footnote. After I unleash that final strike, the power coin in the Arm King belt burns out completely. Both parasites are expelled from my body and collapse on the floor, barely alive. I have the knowledge from my past life, but forcing hybrid merge, letting more than one parasite inhabit your body at once, the risk is enormous. Without precise divinity control holding both parasites in balance, and the Arm King transformation reinforcing my body, I would have blown apart the moment the merge completed. Even with a clean merge, my body is in rough shape. I've burned through too much. Continuing to explore the ruin isn't an option, but I have no regrets. The crystal sarcophagus and the Arm King belt, those are the crown jewels of this entire ruin. Ethan, you okay? Wade's voice wavers as he approaches, looking at me like he's not sure he knows me anymore. I furrow my brow. I'm completely drained. No strength to fight back if things go south. If Wade decides to make a move on the crystal sarcophagus and the Arm King belt right now, I'd die here in the most humiliating way possible. While that thought crosses my mind, Wade is already beside me. He reaches out and steadies me gently. Ethan, that was absolutely incredible. One punch, and that disgusting Dread Husk and Drake's cousin both went to pieces. Then the fear creeps back in. Hey, do you think Drake's cousin's family is going to come after us at school? Wade's family does alright, but they're nowhere near Drake's level. He can't afford to bring trouble home. I keep my head clear. We just deny everything. To make sure our stories line up, I lay out a cover story for Wade and make sure he understands. Stick to I don't know, and nobody can touch us. Wade is a little shaky at first, but the moment I promise him half the crystal sarcophagus, his nerves disappear. Amazing what resources do for a person's composure. The crystal sarcophagus is too valuable to sell. The moment it hits the market, someone will trace it back to us, so we keep it between the two of us. Wade agrees without hesitation. Honestly, he barely did anything in that fight. Getting half the crystal sarcophagus is already way more than he expected. As for the remaining true god's bones inside the sarcophagus, I offer to split those too, partly to keep him quiet, but Wade turns it down. Ethan, I know my own limits. Getting half the crystal sarcophagus already puts me way ahead. You keep the bones. He means every word. I look at him, and something like respect settles in. I like dealing with people who know where the line is. Then I'll take them, and I won't say no twice. I look around at the floor. Shattered black bones, flesh, and fallen kin scattered everywhere. None of this can stay. With some effort, I summon a large group of goblins to clean it up. The flesh and kin corpses go to the goblins as food. Consumed, and the evidence is gone. The Dread Husk's bones are piled together. Technically speaking, they're actually decent crafting material. Wade directs his iron goblins to haul the Minotaur's corpse inside as well. A hero rank corpse. There's a real chance it can push a kin's rank up. I take the Minotaur's axe for myself and leave the rest of the body to Wade. While I rest and recover, Wade gets to work dismantling the temple. This isn't just a building, it's a functional structure with real properties, and once taken apart, it can be relocated into someone's divine realm. Core kin that pray inside it gain strength and faith. By the time I finish refining the true god's bones and the Dread Husk's bones into power coins, Wade and the Iron Goblins have already finished tearing down the temple. By the time we leave this island, Wade will probably take the entire landmass with him to expand his divine realm. In a way, Wade's looting skills are genuinely impressive. Ethan, there are 3 temple buildings total. 1 main hall, 2 side halls. The main hall goes to you and I'll keep the 2 side ones, Wade says with barely contained excitement. The joy of looting has completely wiped out any trace of his earlier fear. I nod. Then I reach into my pocket and pull out 2 golden power coins. As I activate King's Blessing, both coins gradually shift in shape, transforming into 2 single-use golden transformation belts. The Divine Form Belt. These are for me? Wade's eyes light up. He watched the entire transformation sequence up close, and it was the coolest thing he's ever seen, and I'm actually giving him 2 of them. Lifesavers when it matters most. When I was at my weakest, Wade didn't betray me. He split the spoils with me instead. That tells me he's worth keeping close. Ethan, you're the best. From now on, I'm your #1 sidekick. Wade tucks both belts away with barely contained excitement. I still have 7 power coins on hand. 5 of them are divine coins, which combine with the Arm King belt to activate divine form, granting power on par with a Lord rank life form, and allowing me to channel divine power to resist virtually any form of damage. The other 2 are bone coins. These activate bone form when used with the Arm King belt, granting power on par with a Lord rank undead, with access to hellish aura and the force of bones. 2 different coin types, 2 different forms, letting me adapt to a much wider range of situations. For now, the Arm King belt is still at first tier. Only 1 power coin can be slotted at a time, but once it reaches second tier, I should be able to load 2 coins simultaneously. Now I understand why, in my past life, anyone who found a true god's ruin could grow so explosively fast. After we strip this island bare, neither Wade nor I have the energy to explore further, so we head back to our divine realms. But before I go, I broadcast the coordinates of the True God's ruin for a fee. Then Wade and I teleport out. 10 minutes after we leave, Drake arrives with reinforcements pulled through family connections and storms back into the ruin. "'Cause I brought backup. Where are you?" Drake tries messaging Owen, but nothing comes back. He turns to the reinforcements. "Search everywhere. Find my cousin." The moment I'm back in the Divine Realm civilization, payments start flooding in from other players. Over 100 Divine Realm players pay to receive the coordinates of the True God's ruin, and that number keeps climbing. But this income is a drop in the bucket compared to what that unexplored ruin is actually worth. I just don't have a choice. In the state I'm in, staying in that ruin any longer, and running into something like that Minotaur again would be a death sentence. There's another reason too. It sets up a defense against Drake's family coming after us later. The more people who enter that ruin, the harder it is to pin anything on me and Wade. Monday morning, I barely set foot in school before Mr. Foster pulls me into his office. Inside, Wade and Drake are already staring each other down. Behind Drake stands a man and a woman, both looking surprisingly young, age hard to pin down, and the moment I walk in, their eyes lock onto me like they're looking at an enemy. Behind the desk sits a middle-aged man with a relaxed smile. "Everyone's here?" the man asks Mr. Foster. "Yes, Acting Dean Warren. Both Wade and Ethan are present. My name is Warren. I'm the acting dean of this school. The previous dean, Ms. Rhodes, has taken emergency leave for personal reasons, and I'll be stepping in for her this semester." Acting Dean Warren's words put me on edge. I remembered Drake mentioning in the mind that the dean was useless as a backer. Ms. Rhodes' sudden leave is starting to look like anything but coincidence. I make a quiet note to be careful around Acting Dean Warren. There's a good chance he's already been bought by Drake's family, just like Mr. Foster. In the spirit of leniency for honest confessions and strict penalties for resistance, if you come forward with what you've done, I can see to it that the consequences are reduced. I cut in immediately. "With all due respect, Acting Dean Warren, we've been wrongly accused." Wade jumps in right behind me. "That's right, we're completely innocent." Mr. Foster moves to shut us down, but Acting Dean Warren raises a hand to stop him. I put on my most aggrieved expression. "Wade and I went to the abandoned gold mine over the weekend to do some mining, and we ran into Drake and his cousin. Drake used his cousin's status as a top War Academy student to threaten us. Said he'd have us killed." "That's a lie. I never said that. You're making this up." Drake snaps back. But his panicked expression doesn't exactly help his case. "Drake, let him finish. Ethan, go on." "We couldn't fight back against Drake's cousin, so we just kept running, and somehow ended up inside a ruin. But Drake and his cousin caught up fast. His cousin completely overpowered us. We barely got out alive." Wade nods quickly. "That's exactly how it happened." "Garbage! You're the one who attacked. We never saw it coming, and you took the treasure from the ruin." Drake can't hold it in any longer. The man and woman behind Drake sharpen their gaze at me. "Slander! This is complete slander!" I shout, putting all the outrage I can into my voice. Does this school not know who I am? I'm a senior who just awakened, and my core kin is a mutant hairworm, the weakest thing out there. Drake and his shameless cousin, one has a toothless wyvern, the other a hellhound, both born at transcendent rank, and they went on a rampage against two kids like us. We lost so many of our core kin. We don't even know if we'll be able to take part in the next assessment. "You're the shameless one," Drake snaps, but the man behind him forces him back into his seat. "Kid, do you have proof of any of this?" the man says coldly. "Proof? I'm the one who should be asking for proof. A toothless wyvern and a hellhound against a mutant hairworm. Which of those isn't 100 times stronger?" Drake is the one making the accusations. He's the one who needs proof. I let the indignation pour out. Acting Dean Warren and Mr. Foster exchange a glance. Even they have to admit I have a point. The hairworm is universally known as one of the weakest species out there. Even mutated, how strong could it get? Anyone thinking straight can see which side has the power here. "Ethan, tell us about the treasure in the ruin." Acting Dean Warren steers the conversation. I let the frustration ramp up another level. "Don't even get me started on that. Wade and I found that ruin first, and Drake and his cousin immediately tried to take it by force. We couldn't fight back, so we had to run and leave everything behind." Wade chimes in right on cue. "I blew up hundreds of my own iron goblins just to get away." Acting Dean Warren, you have to stand up for us. Drake bullied us outside of school. The school can't just ignore that. I'm covered in injuries. My whole body is still aching. Drake owes me medical compensation. I pile on alongside Wade. The two of us play off each other perfectly, and lock in Drake's reputation as a bully who abuses his connections. Acting Dean Warren looks like he has a splitting headache from all our noise. He took Drake's family's money and wants to side with Drake, but our account is too solid to dismiss. By the end of his own questioning, Drake ends up looking guiltier than ever, and Warren doesn't know how to play it. Drake is losing his mind over what he sees as a setup. "Like hell I'm paying you anything. Ethan, you killed my toothless wyverns. I haven't even settled that with you yet, and now you're turning it around on me? You're the one pulling the first move and crying victim." I fire back. "That's exactly the point. The more chaotic this gets, the easier it is for me and Wade to walk away clean. Drake, you're slandering innocent people. You bully your own classmates. Shameless scum." Wade joins in, mostly just because he wants to yell at someone. Just as things start spiraling again, the man behind Drake cuts through the room. "Everyone shut it. I'm here for one thing only. Where is Owen?" Wade and I look at each other and say nothing. "Come on, you two. Answer him," Mr. Foster pushes. "Didn't he just tell us to shut it?" I mutter, then turn to Wade. "Who's Owen?" "I genuinely don't know." "Wade, does that name ring a bell for you?" Wade spreads his hands. "No idea." "Is that the guy who sells spicy noodles at the school gate?" Drake steals a nervous glance at the man behind him. "Your own cousin, and you're asking me? What, do you two communicate by message in a bottle?" I say without holding back. "Or maybe it's a random chat feature." Wade adds helpfully. Acting Dean Warren's headache gets significantly worse. Everyone in the room is starting to lose it. Are these two really going to walk free? The man behind Drake is the most anxious of all. He's Owen's father. He didn't come here to put me and Wade in trouble. He came here to find his son. Owen is the pride of the family, the one they've poured the most resources into. And with Owen currently enrolled at the elite War Academy, if he isn't found soon, the War Academy may expel him for prolonged absence. I don't care about noodles or bottles. I have one question. Where is Owen? Owen's father can't keep the desperation in check anymore. It comes out almost as a shout. Wade and I shrug in perfect sync. We have no idea where Owen is. Owen's father slams the table. You're hiding something. I know it. I'm warning you both. If anything has happened to my son, I will make sure you pay for it. Warren steps in with his best concerned expression. Mr. Zhou, I understand how you feel, but please stay calm. Ethan, Wade, I'll ask you one last time. Do you know where Owen is? If you tell us, I give you my word the school will drop everything against you. Wade looks to me. He's been holding it together, but inside he's a wreck. I give him a steady look, then turn to Acting Dean Warren. Acting Dean Warren, we're the ones who were wronged here. We were robbed and beaten, and we never even filed a complaint with the school. So how exactly is any of this our fault? I push back firmly. Wade's emotions completely take over. Tears stream down his face, snot running freely. So many of my iron goblins are dead, and I haven't even processed that yet. And now Drake brings people here to interrogate me? This school is absolute bullying. I'm done with this place. The trembling voice and the utterly pitiful expression leave even Warren unsure what to do. The woman standing behind Drake finally speaks. Stop putting these two kids through this. But Ms. Quinn, this is a critical lead in finding Owen. We can't just let it go. Owen's father pushes back, but Ms. Quinn gives him a look. Owen is my student. I know exactly what he's capable of. These two just awakened their core kin. One has a mutant hairworm, the other iron goblins. Neither one is a match for Owen's hellhound, but they took the treasure from the ruin. I saw it with my own eyes, Drake insists. But neither Owen's father nor Ms. Quinn pays him any attention. If anything, Drake is the reason Owen is missing in the first place. Everything I'm saying is true. Why won't anyone believe me? Drake keeps pushing, but Owen's father shuts him down with a look. I decide the timing is right. I drop the angle I've been saving for exactly this moment. For all we know, Owen decided to keep the treasure for himself and went into hiding. Nonsense. My son is outstanding in every way. He would never do something like that. Owen's father is immediately on the defensive. He tried to rob 2 high school seniors. What exactly is your definition of outstanding? If I were Owen, I'd do exactly the same thing. A crystal sarcophagus that size. Keep it all for yourself, and Drake gets nothing. Absorb everything, then come back. And who's going to make you give it back? It sounds casual, but it plants a completely new idea in both Owen's father and Ms. Quinn. And they have to admit, it kind of makes sense. They'd heard Drake describe the crystal sarcophagus, valuable enough to make even a demigod's eyes light up. For a divinity being to hide the treasure, fake a disappearance, absorb it all, and then resurface. By then, Owen's power would have exploded, and everyone would have to show respect. Owen's father visibly relaxes. Sure, the Joe and Drake's families are related, but nobody ever turns down resources, let alone a crystal sarcophagus. Drake is clearly taking it in too, and his jaw tightens. That sneaky guy. If I'd known you were like this, I never would have brought you to that mine. The whole mood in the room shifts. Warren waves his hand and dismisses everyone. Wade and I both breathe a quiet sigh of relief. But just as I'm stepping out the door, Ms. Quinn speaks up. Ethan, you and Wade were the first to find the ruin. Do you happen to know who spread the coordinates? I put on a look of surprise, then let it fall into disappointment. I have no idea. Alright, you can go. Ms. Quinn waves us off, and we finally leave. Given that thousands of Divine Realm players have since entered the ruin, it's difficult to determine Owen's current situation. If Owen has indeed gone into hiding inside the ruin, then as his supervising teacher, the most I can do is secure a 1-year leave of absence for him. As for finding him, that falls to you as his family. Owen's father bows quickly. Thank you, Miss Quinn. Truly, when that little brat finally shows up, I'll bring him here personally to apologize. Deep down, Owen's father has already bought into the idea. Owen is hiding somewhere, absorbing those treasures. Drake is quietly fuming. Owen only went into that ruin because of him, and Drake ended up with nothing, plus a scolding on top of it. And it all traces back to Ethan, who had to go poking around that abandoned gold mine and stir all this up. Then a thought crosses Drake's mind. Ethan must have burned through a lot of power in that mine. Maybe that means there's a chance to push him out of school again. Once Owen's father and Miss Quinn are gone, Drake turns to Mr. Foster. Mr. Foster, start another assessment round. I'm done looking at Ethan's face. He wants to see what tricks Ethan has left to avoid being forced out this time. Back home, I turn my attention back to the matter of the mutation strain. In my past life, the host species I cultivated for one particular parasite variant was the Phantom Clan. The Phantom Clan are humanoid transcendent rank life forms, wraith-like in form, masters of all kinds of weaponry. They rarely appear on the market, and when they do, they're snapped up immediately by powerful buyers. Completely out of reach for a powerless high schooler like me. I figured I'd have to wait until after I got into a higher academy before I had any shot at this. Turns out, things are falling into place faster than I expected. The Bull Phantom is a crossbred variant of the Phantom Clan, with a high chance of meeting the parasite's requirements. Soon, the card with the Bull Phantom juvenile sealed inside arrives in my hands. I release it immediately, and call over a still weakened Venom, instructing it to partially merge into the Bull Phantom juvenile. At first, the Bull Phantom resists hard, thrashing and struggling to shake Venom off. But with me here, there's no chance it disrupts my plan. Under my control, Venom completes the merge, and a self-awareness stirs to life inside it. A deep crimson and black figure emerges. The second-gen parasite, Riot, is born. Core, kin, 2nd Gen Parasite, Riot. Kin rank, Transcendent rank, Hybrid Lifeform. Abilities, Brute Force, Shapeshift, Weapon Mastery. Faith rank, Zealot. Both are 2nd Gen Parasites. But Riot is in a completely different league from Lash. Lash can only whip, wrap, and restrain using its 8 durable tentacles, but Riot can reshape any part of its body into a weapon at will, and with that strength comes a temper to match. Riot has barely awakened, its consciousness still raw and undeveloped, and its first instinct is to kill me. Venom and Lash are both still drained from the hybrid merge. Neither one is in any condition to fight. Riot's arms begin to shift, reshaping into 2 blades, and it swings straight at me.